such a good matchup to the Jax.
I do think also there's a world where Doran builds tank on this because they have the Azir damage and you're laning into a Jax, so you're really just trying to neutralize this with Gragas as a counter pick, and right after that happened as well, so. Sad times, but at least getting the lane control that you're supposed to get with Varus and Poppy into the Rakan lane is a bit of a 3v3 though.
Yeah, or it's just a 1v1 and then a 2v2, as now they're looking to try and turn it onto Smash. That is the kill going over though, as Smash does go down. Carrier unable to get in front or stop anything there as the flash from Owner, and he cannot follow Raptor as Faker goes in and will be able to finish off the doggo. A little bit aggressive to then go for the crab, but Faker investing the flash, 2 for 2 in the end. This is the lethal tempo variety of Varus, but Dplus is playing up so incredibly far. That is a brilliant flick here from Vikla as Raptor just immunes the Emperor's Divide, and Faker having to deal with a big old wall, and he has no flash, he has no way out, and that is Vikla answering the kill that he picked up earlier, and Raptor even getting kill credit. Right at first stand, we thought that this might be the worst team in the LCK.
Yeah. And we also thought it might be like one of the worst teams like that we've seen in several years, but it is really turned around. Just goes to show you end up getting the right direction and players, start to gel with each other. Things can change.
Kellen's an example of that, right? Where it felt like he kind of had his shot and blew it, but now he's kind of trying to reinvent himself. Clear as well, his debut in the LCK wasn't what we wanted out of this player that was so good in Challenger. But finally, we're starting to see that
here. BNK really snowballing this game incredibly well.
Yeah, look at Diablo just frontlining, trying to stop Carrier from being able to do anything. He flashes, will be able to charm up the Varus, but where's the follow-up? The Cask will come in, but it gets Diablo to relative safety. Now he's trying to get some auto attacks across as now Owner goes in. Does have the safety of the Crescent Guard as Carrier dives forward once again. These health bars are so low, and Smash is now on the board. There is the pickup as Clear dives in, and he's gonna have to get immediately back out. There's the T1 team fighting, and I think we're gonna have to stop singing the praises of BNK.
Isn't seen.
Yep.
Vikla gonna push Faker out of the lane. We'll just teleport right back in. Kellen probably seen here. Yeah, Carrier's tracking him.
And Carrier is gonna find him. Steadfast Presence gonna come on over as he just bonks the Rakan away, but Kellen's gonna have to do a little bit more to escape this one. And in order to escape, he decides the Death Chamber is going to be the best route. So a little bit overly aggressive as far as the Poppy position. Best end of it at this point in time. Raptor thinking about rotating over as the Dragon's up as well. There are plenty of objectives to go for, but there are feats of strength going over to BNK as first turret goes down. Second is soon to follow. It's Faker also going down extraordinarily low and taken out here by Vikla on the top side of the map.
And Cryo here and T1 are actually just going to start this one up. Faker's rotating down, does have teleport as well, but doesn't look like he's going to need it.
Yeah, Raptor gets in as, all right, Smash going to be evicted from the fight. But it should be back relatively quickly here, so Keeper's Verdict not really finding the value that they really want. It looks like T1 with control of this at the moment. Raptor gonna have to get out, and Carrier still holding onto the quickness. BNK, I think intelligently, just playing for the side lane. Clear gonna be able to take down this turret. And they lose the third Drake. That is Soul Point going over to T1.
I've had one that was like, I don't long for yesterday.
Yeah. All my troubles seemed so right there in front of me.
This is an Otacon take, by the way, in trade for a Herald, and BNK are very late to respond. TP coming over. I don't know if T1 could stick this, but they at least get a TP out. Doran, though, has to match.
Yep, there are teleports coming in from everywhere as Kellen doesn't have his ulti up. Finds a heroic charge, though, onto Carrier, trying to get him out of there as it is going to be the Otacon secured by the Xin Zhao. And he's also trying to take down Raptor on the back end, who gets a whole bunch of health back, and they're just sending them home as quickly as possible. Smash right in there, but Kellen finds the heroic charge. It's just not quite enough as Vikla with a big old shield is going to say goodbye, Mr. Smash. And there's a seismic shove. Good sidestep from Doran, but that's a turret, buddy. That ain't going to work. And Diablo's like, I got Shelly, and I'm going to take her for a walk.
Diablo wasn't there for the whole fight. And it ended up being a big boon for them in the end because he gets the full extra crash into the inner. So much turret gold going over to BNK. Faker looking for the punish, and he will be successful. But it feels like a consolation prize as T1. And then Doran just sits under turret. Is over here, Doran again.
In the meantime, Diablo is going to get cast in. And now Raptor in a bit of trouble as well as T1 like a freight train moving down this mid lane. Just not quite enough to get them any more than the kill onto Vikla and onto Kellen.
Can they
I think
trade
we
it?
missed one of those.
Damage to this one, and I don't think Vikla can clear this wave fast enough, so they will still pick that one up. It's a big old trade of turrets, but because this Jax has 6 grubs, because Clear is so massive in this game, so we'll see what the next one is going to look like. A 16 to sit here for Vikla as well. 10 seconds until that soul fight if T1 commit to it.
Yeah, I think as well, I think the Keeper's Verdict has to be good and the wall has to be good.
Yeah.
Because Diablo needs space to be able to get auto attacks down
and they
without
also
just being, you know, caved in on by T1. As in goes Raptor looking for an angle. There's that Keeper's Verdict we were talking about, but it will be cancelled. Counter-strike onto Carrier, who does have the quickness running, but he's on the steadfast presence at the moment. Doran finds the angle, but he's going to immediately get heroic charge. Goes Golden, trying to stay alive as Faker on the flank. He's able to lock down the doggo, but look at Diablo popping off, going nuts in the back line, and Smash not going to be able to stand up against this Varus.
Health. Finally, a TP comes through here for Clear as we are really turning this into an extended fight.
This is going to be a 5v4 though. It's in goes Kellen before anyone even arrives, and the seismic shove so good. Smash locked down, and now Faker realizing that he has to make the master play. He takes down the Poppy, but I just don't think it's going to be enough as Raptor, he is going in. The bleed not quite going to be enough as Ona is still there. I think the Dragon should now go over to BNK. But man, what is it with the T1 series this week, Wolf?
It's just been so close when people would argue they shouldn't be, but BNK really running away with this one in a lot of ways here. It's not over by any means. Like his outplay onto Faker earlier.
I think I'm just really proud of Kellen. As Vikla, he's going in. Seismic shove doesn't quite land here as Arcane Flash over the wall as Carrier into that backline finds the quickness, but there's not a lot of follow-up. Still the rest of T1 able to pull themselves back together. No one dead. Okay.
Faker does have an arm guard for this fight. And
they're going to get spotted, but he flashes on top of Smash. Raptor going untargetable, flashes on in as well. Smash going down low, but he's not dead just yet. It's only Kellen that's caught up to him and needs another auto to be able to take him down. There's the cue to finally find it. The rest of BNK trying to dive on top of Faker as it's a 1-for-1, but support for AD Carry. I think BNK would take it unless they can kill Clear, who finally finds himself out of position. Seismic shove as also Doran's in trouble, but he has the Zhonya's to keep himself at least alive for now.
Baker used his teleport so he can't back and TP back. I think they're very aware of that. They're just going to stick this Dragon, take it out here. T1 can't contest.
16 here for Smash. That True Shot Barrage starting to hurt. There it is onto Vikla. Fair bit of damage there. The backline goes Carrier. Vikla in so much trouble, but he has the Seraph Shield, and he's able to weather the storm. Now Clear getting solo altered from Faker, and Clear still wanting to find the angle. They get on top of Smash yet again. They'll trade the Jax for him this time, although they don't finish off the Ezreal. Chains of Corruption doesn't land as well as Diablo. It's going to have to find Doran. There's the hail of arrows, and he's going to need to stand his ground, and it does not work. He flashes, trying to get out. He kills Faker, but at what cost, ladies and gentlemen? Vikla's still alive, but he's the only one, and T1 will take the Baron.
And it's the first death of Diablo, but it's the most critical kill here for T1. Consistently done these fights. I think you were like, I've got enough damage items, you know? Yep. Defensive sounds good.
Let's try and keep ourselves healthy. There's a flash in from Kellen once again. And Smash finds himself in trouble. Clear getting into the backline. Faker goes golden, but it means he can't help. Still, Vikla's going to get taken out. Raptor diving on top of the Azir, but Faker's just going to kill him. The doggo's dead. Down goes the Rakan, but that doesn't matter. T1 with Baron now have got 4 on the floor, and it's only Clear that can try and help out, and Doran's even going to deal with that problem. Using that Zhonya's just because he can.
Faker still has Baron buff, of course, so he's just going to TP bottom. They're trying to turn this into a double inhibitor play here, potentially. I think maybe just go mid, and they just realize that's probably the better play, because there's 30 seconds left on both of these damage dealers. This game looks like it's about to end as Doran's denying Clear from returning home, and I think T1 have done it.
Yep, T1... I think, you know, it was a difficult scenario throughout most of this game as Clear is going to miss the flash and then just says, well, the game is over anyway. The Nexus will get taken down.
My biggest concern here for T1 is how Faker has had some rough laning phases, with Vikla also looking really on point these days. And Doran are going to do in the lane, because Doran, you know, we have seen Gwen win this matchup as much as he can. And so that's why I'm a little sad about this draft.
Oh,
Raptor does not know. He's not a knower.
He is not a knower indeed. He immediately flashes, but I don't think it's going to be enough to be able to get him to safety as he really wants to get on that blast going, but it's not going to be him. It's going to be the flash from Ona that locks that one down, and they'll start off with a red buff. T1 playing dirty at the start of game 2.
And unfortunately for Raptor, there's just simply nothing he can do about it. Corki having Cryo in mid. Doran playing this matchup so far pretty well, looks like. We didn't watch how all the intricacies did happen, but maybe
level 3, and Doran is just going to get flashed on and murdered.
Sorry, everyone. Sorry, Chronicler. Master real.
No, don't say sorry to Chronicler, because he doesn't even believe in caster curses. Say sorry to everyone.
No, I'm just saying sorry, like, because it's very clear that they're real. Maybe a small little edge that Vikla picks up as Faker does not have TP.
Kellen discovered as the rest of his team around. Nice little sidestep on the Winter's Wrath as Raptor grabs 2 of the grubs pretty quickly. And with that smite now on cooldown, he's just going to back away and let Ona have 1 of them.
Yeah. So better than they were doing in terms of grubs last game.
Yep.
Infinitely better. My friends are doing.
That's why I removed that app. Oh, God.
Looks like T1 are going to get this dragon. Oh man, it's worse than the Italian memes.
And will be able to secure his own Raptors. As Raptor is unable to get the Rash. Smash is in trouble. Some more autos coming through here from Diablo. He's going to need another one, but the bailout comes in. The handshake's down, but Diablo doesn't die. The flashing it out of the crash down here is Diablo makes the rain, and Carrier needs to try and find him in the fog of war. Diablo, can you get out of here? Because there's another crash down, and the bullet time comes in. The stun comes through as well, and Carrier will be able to get out. That's a beautiful U-turn done here as To The Skies goes clear, and Ona has to avoid the impale. BNK outplaying T1 all over the map.
Everywhere. Look at the gold leads.
Except for Vikla, maybe. Objectives as well as T1 able to take the first dragon of the game.
I just don't see any contest here. As Oner's going to the bottom side of the map, try to look for a punish here. This is risky.
Yeah, as there's a bullet time just to try and clear out the wave. That's a great ulti from Ona, though, as the handshake comes in. Kellen trying to keep them at bay as Smash is in trouble. And that last auto, not quite enough. Oh my God, how did that work? The immediate bailout is going to save him, but Diablo finding that double up angle was absurd.
He pressed it so fast.
Meanwhile, here on the top side of the map, I don't think Ascana really cares about whether Gwen is immune or not. Just gonna poop her away from the turret, and Doran, no needlework's gonna save you from that. So more plates going over to clear here towards the top side. This is the storm, like, destroying your house, and you not being in there when it goes to the Wizard of Oz.
He's even denying more farm here. He will get the turret after this. T1 grab another objective as
whoa, that's a flash in. Kellen's going to come on over. He's not really helping out with damage, but there is Vikla in the area. That's a Glacial Prison, but the Magnet Storm comes through as well. Hostile Takeover doesn't connect onto the Rise, and so they just take out the Sejuani. And BNK just continuing to find value everywhere on the map. As Clear here towards the bottom side, kind of feeling like something is up. He's going to spot Doran for the moment as Ona looking to come in. They get into the mist alongside the Gwen, but Clear realizing he has to get out. That's a great hammer boop, but it's not quite going to be enough. Now committing to the fight as the ulti comes out from Carrier, and that spells the end of Clear. Permafrost as well is going to mean that Kellen is in the wrong place as well. And Faker, he's also just going back. He knows that T1 have won this one.
This was
Vikla just split pushing.
Just a great call from T1, and a nice setup there from Oner, knowing that the target has been Doran, and that's the next turret they can take out there in the bottom lane if they get the pick onto him. Instead, it ends up being the gank to come through from Oner. It gets damaged. Bottom turret goes down anyways. There's still a Gwen-shaped, maybe a scissor-shaped hole here on the map for T1.
Not to mention the fact that Smash is pretty far behind as well on that bottom side. 30 CS, approximately the lead here for Diablo.
Okay, Faker here maybe caught.
Yeah, Ona going to come in. Just throws the ulti away, was expecting a Duke, and Clear just didn't do it. Still, he's going to die.
Okay, a second time. I actually thought that it was, in fact, Raptor was in the bush. As Kellen's here.
Is it over? As the teleport out from Faker is going to get him to safety, and Ona doesn't have teleport. And so he is instead just going to die. It's going to take a little while because he's pretty tanky, but it is a 1-for-1 trade in the end. What this does, though, is provide space for Doran to try and get back into this game.
Yeah, he is still significantly behind, but this will help a little bit. He doesn't have any grubs, really, besides the one they have to be a real threat in the side lane. Not the same team that threw that lead against Genji and LCK Cup. You know, this is a team that really has worked a lot on how to play from ahead.
Yeah, this team has really evolved, and it's really impressive to watch. They're going to be able to deny the soul point as well. That was something that they weren't able to do last time, and now looking to continue this as they move into the inner turret on the bottom side. Raptor playing defense. They'll let the outer turret on the top side fall down, but that is the second turret from T1 to be taken so far this game. Oh man, there is no vision here. Hawkshot does give away that BNK are down here, but look at all of this vision. Look at all of this control that they have. And the immediate turn as Raptor is going to get his hand shaken. There's the Magnet Storm, though. The bullet time to come in as well. As the two-man Impale delivers Owner and Doran, but they're pretty tanky. Owner's burning down. The bailout not even required here to keep him alive as Vikla trying to get out, and he kills Smash and survives. Vikla, how the heck did that happen? As now T1 are all limping away from this battle. In fact, the health bars everywhere are so low, and Clear isn't going to pick the right turn. Alive.
That was so scary with Owner and Smash's ults coming up.
Good old face check here as another Q goes wide. Let's see who's going to win this battle as Doran's running with scissors and Vikla is missing Qs. He does have the Seraphs, and that Q he lands. Still, arrow point blank is going to be able to do it, as it was in fact a rocket from Faker.
T1 still didn't get any prio back. They still didn't get any deep vision.
Oh, handshake going to come through, but that is the two-man Impale. This time the bullet time is going to work as Smash was shooting him, but it doesn't actually do anything. Owner goes down, Faker's dead as well, and BNK, they can take both of the objectives if they'd like.
Turn this into Dragon. Southside Otacon here next to the Dragon is going to be taken. T1 can't cross with Baron. They lost two members, and it's not even spawned. So if you can shut that down, you can stop the combo. Maybe Smash can clean up house, because you got Faker on 80 carry here as well. He's got his LDR. Oh no!
Raptor comes in. Little Miss Piggy going to be delivered here as Diablo looking for an angle. Hostile takeover doesn't connect onto the Misfortune, and the bailout is going to be there. Bullet time was more in celebration, but I do like the fact that MF does a whole lot of laughing while it's happening.
That's all you need, and that's how you play it slow. It's how you play around vision, and BNK find the enemy jungler. There's no smite fight here.
Nope. Still, Carrier moving into a aggressive position. The double up still doing work here as Smash down to 50%. Shock Blasts raining in as Doran at full health, but I just don't know whether they're going to be able to help out here. 4 versus 5 is the advantage.
Got the angle here with a flash.
Yep, Doran's in the mist right now. He does have the bailout, and Smash is already so close to dead. Going golden is Doran, surviving for a moment, but Faker gonna get knocked into the wall as Raptor is gonna push him out of the fight. There's Carrier going down. Doran follows and Smashes on the wrong side of the map. The Baron is taken, and BNK, they are not losing 2 games in a row against T1 here today.
Not gonna happen. Kellen takes the kill, but I think it's the least of their worries right now. Close the gap here. Faker as well, trying over the wall. The Realm Warp here is pretty short, but it's pretty clean as well. Faker just has to exit.
Kind of insane as well, the fact that Diablo and Vikla just like going together point blank into the enemy team, but they were so far ahead that it didn't even matter. So the Sky's going to get interrupted here, but I don't think Clear is too worried about it. Vikla now versus 3, but he's just running away. Phase Rush pretty powerful, and BNK will be able to take this inhibitor, but they're looking for even more. Doran doesn't have the needlework anymore, no more arrow, but there is Glacial Prison as well as the hostile takeover.
T1 means there's not an end angle here unless T1 make a mistake. Kellen on a nice angle.
Yeah, every button is up here for BNK though as far as these ultimates. That's Magnet Storm, Impale, Bullet Time. This is so dangerous for T1. Still, they have to try something. Glacial Prison going to be picked up by Diablo, and Smash almost dies from 2 ticks of the bullet time.
And Vikla is escorting this mid wave in. So, I mean, there's super minions with Baron buff coming into the T1 base. Second inhibitor is going to go down. They can just siege this if they want to.
As Diablo moves over, he's going to get to work on the last remaining inhibitor, and T1, nothing they can do to answer it. They're being pulled all around the rift. It's kind of beautifully played by BNK as far as their siege on the T1 base as the handshake comes in. Hostile takeover connects onto only the Skarner as Vikla going to be taken down. And now BNK with the entire base in shambles of T1.
Dragon on the exit with the super minions that T1 are occupied with here. But T1,
absolutely nothing here. So Shock Blast does not do absolutely nothing. In fact, it just hits both carries.
The second time's the charm here on this inhibitor. Now they're all gone.
Yeah. And Clear still has his shield. Glacial Prison is just going to split the difference in BNK. And now Carrier, it's his turn to throw out the handshake. Fake a half health from a few ticks of the bullet time. And they are just trying to poke them out underneath this turret. The double up, my God, he's hitting so many of those Qs. The hostile takeover does nothing. Doran trying to take down Raptor, but the Magnustorm is so good. And the layering of the Impale. Doran goes golden, but this time, the Zhonya's is doing absolutely nothing. The Nexus turrets are going to be taken down. The Nexus exposed, and once again, no team in the LCK for 2025 so far.
Scion plus whatever Raptor transforms into when Vikla gets a charm, for example, the fights can look very clean. Also, the early skirmishing power of this Alistar, the ability of a Scion to rotate into team fights with his ultimate also feels very good.
Here against T1.
That flash from Guma may have just saved this whole
That was as
game.
late as you could possibly flash that.
It almost looked like Kellen messed it up. You know?
Yeah. Well, he's Hex flashing now. Headbutt Pulp comes in. The Ignite is going to be cleansed, and first blood goes to Diablo. Make that another 2v2 kill here for Kellen and Diablo in the bottom lane.
There are so many Zeri all-in angles you can have. Gooly Donut's not my favorite flavor, but...
Yeah. Oh, a little bit of Bazinga onto Gumayusi there, who comes back licking his wounds here with a cull in his back pocket. BF sword there. I've seen this play before, ladies and gentlemen, and Gumayusi, nothing he can do about it. No cleanse, no flash, no chance, as Raptor turns into a Jinx and says, Carrier, there's nothing you can do. Again, and it worked beautifully, as it generally would if you now don't have as many resources to put into it on the side of T1. I don't necessarily know what Gumayusi was supposed to do, but maybe just not being there.
I think they can go ahead and commit to this dive.
There is a cow down here as well as, oh dear, Roar the Slayer going to slow them down as meanwhile the fight continues. Doran gonna have to flash away. Is the flash out from Clear as well, but Doran in so much trouble. It's Raptor that goes down first though, and Doran will survive.
For that time. But they ended up turning it into something as Vikla looking for an angle over the traps.
Yeah, manages to get the charm in onto Carrier, who is definitely going to be dead. But does Gumayusi go down as well? That's the question. The answer's no, as Raptor wanting to grab himself one. They are going to at least use the wild growth. But Carrier, he knows that he's dead. And it's going to be Raptor that eventually locks that kill down.
Vikla just passed the traps there from Guma. BNK do end up getting another plate for Vikla. They're going to grab these grubs, as you mentioned. Will be 3 for them to even it up.
Yep.
And, you know, the plays we're seeing, the rotations we're seeing, the communication between the squad makes them honestly look like the more well-coordinated team today, which is somewhat understandable.
Yep, and he's won a couple of world championships, I think, relatively recently, if memory serves. As now Ona is just going to get headbutted out of the pit and just gets back in. Safeguards out, and that's what Lee Sin can do, ladies and gentlemen. The very comfy lockdown of the Dragon. It's a Cloud Soul to finish us off for this series. Yorick wants to spend his entire time in a side lane, and it makes this Jinx pick kind of awkward. As, speaking of side lanes, Doran is going to be in one. And it does put down the Ghoulie wall. There's the knock-up. Flash actually has to be invested here as Raptor still looking for it. He flashes forward, doesn't get the stun, but he gets into melee range, and the Maiden not going to be enough to save him. Down to the bottom side goes Diablo as well, as I just choke on myself.
I have one right now. But later on, they have a lot of angles as Doran is once again under fire.
Into the baby cage! Still gonna get knocked up by the Scion. Raptor is tanking this turret for way too long, but still able to go untargetable. Takes down the Yorick, and now Faker's teleported in. 0 mana, but the gravity field is too good, and the Chaos Storm is better. Ona comes down to protect, and they do go 1-for-1 in the trade.
Choke point on the Zeri. I think T1 definitely should just back away. Doran's gonna get a turret on the other side of the map, and you can see Guma channeling that back, looking for his second item here. I think this was absolutely the right call. Doesn't quite have...
There we go.
Okay.
Thanks, Raptor.
Doesn't quite have the IE, but does pick up the BF sword. Game as he has many times on the Jinx in the past. But if he gets charmed, if he gets caught, if he gets hit by the Alistar, if he's caught by a flank from Clear, if he gets picked first, the team just falls apart.
Oh, Kellen has the headbutt back, and that's the charm delivery. The chain CC, gorgeous, as Raptor comes in.
That's mid-turret.
Yeah, and also they've got a Rift Herald, so Diablo will be able to finish this off. They get another charm on the inner turret, and BNK all of a sudden jumping out to a gigantic lead because Otacons on the bottom side of the map. They've got a Drake down, Yeah, Drake down there as well.
Con is going to, in this case, be a more high value. Dplus here.
Yeah, he's going to split them up as well as the ulti comes through. Diablo almost just dead by Faker. Headbutt Pulverize comes in. The knockup's down as well, but the wild growth is so good. Faker in melee range is not exactly where he wants to be.
And he's still doing this.
is going to take him down.
He's still on this Otacon. I don't think he can do it alone, but man, he is holding it. He was hoping they were going to win that fight a little bit faster. He's still going to hold the aggro here.
Yeah, Vikla turns up. And
yeah.
You saw Vikla was so animated in the player camps there as well because they know they're losing things on the other side of the map. That is outer turret and inner turret on the top side. But Otacon is claimed. They're able to take down Faker as well.
Dragon is still up as Guma in danger.
Yeah, Kellen knows that he's not on vision, has Hex Flash up and available. Melee champions up against Faker, who does have a lot of range damage that they don't necessarily want to deal with, or do they? I think they're going to be able to take it.
I think looking back at it, it was absolutely the right call for T1 to try to push that mid turret, hold the Otacon, keep it leashed as, nice try, but keep it leashed and still deal with the push in mid is just incredible. Like, the decision-making that has to go into that is a lot, and it's not something I thought going into today that BNK was capable of as Faker.
Yeah, there's a Hex Flash. The immediate answer from Carrier is good, but that's an ulti in trade for a Hex Flash. Or at least there is an ult coming out from Kellen as well. He's now looking to try and make something of it. As Diablo doing some work. Headbutt Pulverize gets the cow in there. Another knockup as Doran is going to get thrown back. And there's the first kill for the reset composition. BNK not going to be able to find too much more, but taking down Doran after getting the flash is huge. Teleports on the map, but there's no anything to teleport to. As Kellen's going to come on over, he finds Ona, the headbutt brings him out, but it's Gumayushi that's the target, and they come in from every angle. Faker teleports into his death, and now T1 are scattering. They have nowhere to go. The charm lands from Vikla. Ona's trying to safeguard his way out, but it's more like Dangerous Guard in this game as BNK leave only the blind man alive and look to beat T1 in their second match of week 3.
Like the blind man, they had no vision. They couldn't see anything, and it's the Zeri Ari engage onto the Jinx that they just didn't see coming. Guma felt like he was far enough away they could be doing Baron. Growth alone is not enough to save the Jinx, and this teleport from Faker was desperation, but it did not put him where he wanted to go, and now with no damage, it is just a fun house here for Diablo and for Vikla to clean up, and that goes straight to Baron and take it in live. Faker has
testing the waters.
He has no defensive items. I mean, he's got Merc Treads, so I'll give you that, but he's got to play so carefully here, trying to clear this wave, unsuccessful at defending the inhibitor.
And it all has to be 4v5, because the only thing Doran can do is split push.
Yeah, he can't fight. And Vikla is just going to take this turret out. BNK, once again, just like game 2, playing it slow, not willing to give T1 the opportunity to get back into this game, to find an angle to engage.
Well, we're going to move Doran in. Does have that home guard as he's booking it towards the rest of his team. Faker going to get engaged on, but no charm going to land. That's a great interruption once again. Every wild growth has been great here from Carrier. Just hasn't been enough. The Maiden going to be taking out more money over to BNK. Another charm is going to go wide as the Scion also goes wide. Has to flash away. Kick into the Flame Chompers is kind of cute as Kellen gets a headbutt. But T1, yes, they're beating them around, and Clear will go down. But it's in trade immediately. Both top laners, and Diablo loves this kind of craziness. As the Orbit Deception comes in, and now BNK with some free time. That charm going to land as Ona goes down. And BNK, I think they've done it. The Nexus is exposed, and Diablo keeping them on the fountain. And will be able to take down the Nexus. BNK!
Despite the fact that there's not a consistent engage button here for the DNF FEARX, the Rel is going to be quite challenging to pilot here. Is always going to be having to deal with the Alistar to just push her away. That's why it's a strong counter pick. That's why it's so difficult to play Rel into Alistar. Whoa! That's slow.
Yeah, there's the Pulverize, as Dancing Grenade is all aiming really has. Follow-up.
Hex Flash unlocked.
Exactly. Beryl very, very happy about that one, as aiming is going to reload, and that is DNF. Just shooting after him. There's the flash forward. Beryl going to be the target. Deadly Flourish doesn't do anything, and he's just knocked back and destroyed.
The kill does go over to life, and I think that's the one happy thing you could say if you are a Dplus fan about what just went down there. Over here.
Yeah, Dudu is going to get the first rotation over as Pioshik is in trouble. That's a solo kill as Lucid's looking for even more. Snip, snip goes to Gwen, and the flash out from Lucid. He was playing with him the whole time. Berserker by himself on the bottom side. Bit of a death squad being roamed around towards the bottom side of the map here by DNF, but That is going to result in these grubs going over no contest. And FEARX does find aiming as he and Beryl make their way over, but that is another snare as Beryl decides he doesn't want to headbutt Pulverize his former teammate. Jungle, they know that the Raptors are there for him to take next.
They have a control ward in the Dragon Pit. Like, you know, DNF can't know anything, and Dplus know everything.
Well, DNF know that the grubs aren't spawning for another 20 seconds. That's to do with vision and with a timer they have access to. So this is potentially a surprise. They didn't have any vision on what Lucid was doing. Legal. They've got support, experience advantage. It's just not something you can actually do. As well as the fact that Lucid is, what, 30 CS ahead? How is he? 20. Sorry, 20. I can't count.
It's that has a lot to do with the fact that FEARX was hanging out in bottom lane, and Beryl didn't want to hang out with him.
Yeah, and now it's 5-0, 6-0, and he'll grab a crab as well. Lucid is, topside is concerned.
I feel like FEARX has spent a majority of this game looking, like running around being like, there's nothing here for me to get or do.
Ooh, seismic shove going to come in. There's a Magnus Storm onto 3, which is working out pretty well, but special delivery of life towards Showmaker, and he's going to be the first one to go down. Spirit Rush going to do that, and that's the reset here for the Ahri. Even more mobility available, so they're not going to be able to kill him, and that is just a dead rel.
It's just so predictable the way that we've done an objective like this. They have Prio. His Ocean Dragon is looking like it is theirs for the taking. Lucid looking for a steal.
Yeah, does manage to move on over. It is FEARX locking down the smite though, but there's the slow. Beryl, he's on a ward, but he's looking for a pulve under 3, and he'll find it. In they go, and the circles are everywhere. Magnus Storm's decent, but not decent enough, and it's the Crescent Guard that's going to stop any of the extra damage. Shu taking matters into his own hands. Snip, snip, running with scissors is real dangerous. Is now Showmaker looking for Berserker, and he finds the charm. Public Execution is actually just going to be walked out of the way of, but the flash in from Dudu will complete the kill. So they get 1. But 1 for 4 ain't really great.
Yeah, 1 for 4 plus Herald plus mid turret. Anything else? No, I think that's the end of the infomercial. Call now. If in the next 5 minutes, we'll even throw in 1 Ambessa who's trying to catch a wave.
Okay, I don't think anyone's calling.
No.
Oh, that's good. I think they're too concerned about the situation. Shu is going to make use of the fact that there is a man disadvantage for Dplus on the top side to just take things down as Beryl is behind enemy lines.
Let me get over to this wall and get on my surfboard, and I'll see you guys in game 2, because this one looks like it is just over. I mean, it's not really. The gold lead isn't that massive, but and that's why things like this happen where this dragon just gets taken with no contest whatsoever, because DNF know there is no dream world scenario where they could ever walk up and try to stop that.
Yeah, control ward goes down as Beryl looks to grab a little bit of control, but you can see it's just a cheeky little ward here. And so they don't have any worries.
Towards yes.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen Jace be relatively good, as Bulldog is instantly going to flash, as Beryl dealing with some rocks, but just holds onto the CC as best he can. He's standing in front of everyone, and there's the Pulverize finally, waiting for them to line up, as Life Magnus Storms, it looks cute, but it's a double kill for Lucid in the end. FEARX, he's going to be happy that he got a wolf camp. Dplus are going to take a voracious Otacon.
You can't clear vision, you can't farm, you can't be anywhere away from your inner turret. I mean, the game is just unplayable, and Dplus just go, oh, we're on the top side, because guess what the objective is? Top side Otacon. That's mine now as well.
Yeah, and they should be able to convert this into a Drake, or at least a heck of a lot of control.
Best you can get.
Yep. Well, this could be a red buff. We'll just have to see as Chains of Corruption go wide. Beryl now looking for an angle, and he's going to take that seismic shove as an engage, and he probably shouldn't, because he's just going to get withdrawn. That is going to be a red buff going on over as Shu looking to try and get out of there. The needlework is scary, but he's going to go home as well. The Public Execution is going to get a flash out from aiming, and Dudu may have overextended, but does have the wall for backup. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly not how you're supposed to use the Otacon, because it's a lot of money going over to DNF. Unless Showmaker can find the angle, these health bars are getting lower and lower. Orbit Deception takes out the Talia, and Shu looking to come back. FEARX was there, buddy, but he's found a minion wave, and he'd prefer to take that.
And Dplus were like, surely they won't bring 5 people.
Oh god, Dudu might just be dead here, as Shu is just going to flash on top of him. That's going to be Lucid. Wind becomes lightning, becomes murder. Here on the bottom side of the map as Showmaker pushing in mid. And yeah, it looked like it was just DK running in one after the other to donate 200 gold. Well, I mean, it turned into like not really being a problem.
Ari was topside, so Showmaker is pushing. He did end up damaging this turret a lot. It is going to go down here ultimately anyways. But like, that's the best DNF can hope for, is go, oh, okay, Dplus is going to try to pressure us here on the bottom side around the red buff. That's the only farm that FEARX can get. You consider that, or except when you consider they had to bring 5 people to do that, and they only got withdraws.
Well, there's the engage from Beryl as he's diving in amongst 4 people. Dudu has been discovered on the side though, and Showmaker's there to lock him down. Speaking of which, curtains have been called as this Ari is doing so much work. Tavares able to take down the cow though to start this one off. However, there goes FEARX. The Gwen starting to get completely out of control, and I say starting, continuing to get completely out of control as the gold lead heads to 10,000 and DK head towards the Baron.
If there's any takeaways from the game, from this game, I think there's probably 3. Don't let them have Gwen when you're going to pick the Ambessa as a response. That's all we can really learn. The rest of this game is just going to be DNF trying their best to find
Conga line moving forward. As Lucid looks for the Wind becomes lightning as Showmaker goes golden. I don't know about this one as in goes life. Magnetstorm is going to be safe, but just the Ari is there are the knockups. Oh my god, FEARX is indeed Paperman in this game as Showmaker is dashing forward. He'll find a seismic shove, and honestly, feels like it kind of worked for Dplus as Bulldog has the curtains called, does manage to win the game of DDR in the end. But not the game of League of Legends.
Oh, wrong game.
Oh no, in fact, he is just going to die as he tries to wall his way back towards his friends. And the Nexus will explode. Dplus, a shellacking in game 1 here. That one was not even close.
This isn't really the most ideal Ivern comp, if I'm honest with everyone. Normally you need an AD carry that, and often 2, that kind of do consistent damage, and then you shield them and it's hard to kill them, and then the Ivern gets a lot of value. Be like, wow, Dplus can win with anything, or like, are we sure they're good at drafting? Like, I don't know.
Oh, there's a flash cocoon. The Eclipse is making it hard to get through Beryl, but they're doing a decent job. Life also taking some damage as Bulldog's gonna get the flash out of aiming, and Beryl is gonna get off the rift.
He did choose to play Leona into Elise.
He did.
And now he's paying the price of that choice. Just start this dragon because they don't have mid prio, they don't have bottom prio. And
okay, Life gonna have to go up into the sky, I think, relatively quickly. There's that double up that we were looking for, and Life just gonna have to come straight back down. Daisy gonna join Beryl in bopping that spider on the noggin. And Daisy also getting mad at Berserker here as Xiu now struggling against the Dusante, looking for an all-out angle, as instead it's Xiu able to get his flamethrower out first, and it does not. FEARX going to take a while as Rukola comes in. There's the equalizer to stop his escape. He does have to skate all the way down it, but he is pretty tanky, so he will survive. And there goes the dragon, like you were talking about. DK, no full well, but FEARX is down here.
It's like Leona, actually, weirdly.
I think it's Ivern.
I think it's not Jace. I'm gonna say I think Jace is the most.
No, but I mean he's in mid lane.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, you know what? I get you. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're right.
That's probably where
It's usually not flexed. Yeah, true. Oh, good call. I didn't see that one coming.
They'd probably be like, no, Ivern's
Berserker. How far up?
Oh dear. Well, he's gonna have to flash, and then he's gonna die, ladies and gentlemen. In goes aiming, finds the angle, and takes down the Caitlyn. So Berserker just caught napping a little bit there in the mid lane. Good wraparound, and once again, just playing will be pushed away as the Ivern comes down.
He was very warmed up. Microwaved.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Solar Flare going to connect onto Life here, as I don't think they'll have enough chain CC. As in comes FEARX, good flash out from Beryl, who's looking to try and sidestep, wants to find an angle here, I guess, but instead, just going to die. And Bulldog going to collect that kill. FEARX happy to tank up the turret, and out goes Showmaker.
And they have a teleport here to defend the bottom turret. Actually finds himself down on farm a little bit.
All right, Daisy going to come on over. Life going to use Lucid as a way to taxi out of this one. Still has to flash, and there's the root caller. That's going to land as there's a knockup from Daisy as well. Aiming's going to move in. There's a bullet time as the Elise will survive, at least for now. And Daisy's going to not actually give over any money. Solar Flare almost finishes off the Elise. That was so cute.
I love how Dudu's just like...
It is Spirit Visage completed by Dudu. But not too much more going to come out of it. There goes the dragon. Smite going to come on through, and there is the turret going down as well. So first turret blood actually being picked up by DK.
0.2% chance the amount of Kim takes we had to roll. I'm like, that's when I'm kind of looking at Ox with the raised eyebrow. Like, what are you doing over there?
It's always
Bulldog?
a 25% chance. Bulldog is in a little bit of trouble. Does have his flash available though, and the Root Ball's not going to connect. So
And
there goes the Rift Herald.
Yeah, his teammates are pretty nearby, so he gets out of here without having to flash. They do end up getting the Herald. Will be pretty strong once he has that Leandri's completed. But they just gave up a turret for free by retreating, so Dplus to get a little bit of more control over the map.
Fight at some point. Okay, here it is. Find the angle on a barrel. He does have a lot of tools here as the bullet time comes on in. Solar Flare is going to lock down Berserker, and then he's cooked. Now Dudu looking for a little bit of an angle. Who is he going to go all out on? That's the question. As the feats of strength have come in, he actually just pulls barrel to Narnia, but he might need to use that as an opportunity to get the heck out of dodge.
At least
They should have put a control ward in the middle of the lane so that Showmaker came down and took it. Instead, Showmaker goes over and helps out with the Dragon. Wait, commit.
significant gold lead here in the 80 carry matchup for Aiming, as he's just been in a lot of these skirmishes. He picked up a lot of money. Bulldog finally got the turret.
There we go. Speaking of money, something going DNF's way. I think the observers as well are just like, wait a second, I'm pretty sure you should have hit that.
Yeah.
As Aiming just a couple extra shots, and he locks down the inner turret. And this is the problem. This is what's been happening. Dplus have just walked into a lane and taken the turret.
I mean, they have Skarner, Azir.
Yeah, there goes the turret.
Now, that's another turret down for basically no contest, completely for free. It's not fast enough. I mean, there will be a contest from Dplus.
Yep, in comes Baron, and now it's going to be a 50-50. Lucid in position. Daisy getting amongst it as well as the equalizer. Surely going to come down, and there it is. Perfect position as well as Dudu's wandering down it. It is still just going to be that 50-50 on the Otacon. We'll see who manages to pick it up as BNK able to get the smite, but immediately 4 of them are recalled. Make that 5. And Dplus say, well, you guys are back in base. Maybe we'll just take Baron.
Yeah, that they will. So you got the Otacon. You're back up and alive. But it's too late to stop Baron. As fast as you may run with all the legs that this composition has that we identified earlier, they still can't get here fast enough to stop Dplus from taking more control over this game.
Life down to 50%. It's in goes Beryl. Okay. BNK not wanting to engage onto him, but Beryl looks for an angle, and he is going to die. Equalizer going to be the answer as Aiming just flashes away from Bulldog. Bulldog not going to be in too much trouble, though, as the rest of DK now on the engage. BNK finds an impale, but unfortunately he's skewered himself, and Showmaker takes that as an opportunity to go forward. Dudu going to be the result of that aggression, and Bulldog has to go back into his base to try and dodge the shock blast. He does so, but now Aiming is just dashing after his opposition with impunity.
Mega Blast Cone, that's the kind that Valdez likes.
Yep, it's the engage cone wolf. Valdez is even okay with that, as Berserker gonna have to flash, but then he has no way out of this one. Bulldog comes on over and does lop down the tree, but then he just gets burnt as Showmaker's in the mid lane, and this game is an absolute disaster.
It is way more playable here for DNF. But Berserker, he has 1 Q. That's all he was able to do in this fight. He's so isolated on the other side that he can't peel.
Wall of grass.
I guess the translation that was given was Aiming asking Beryl how old he was, and then Beryl saying, I'm 26. Thank you.
Thanks for asking. Well, there we go.
I guess relating to the Blast Cone play.
Perhaps.
This is not looking good for DNF.
Well, the equalizer certainly follows suit on that one. Beryl continuing to do what he wants as Aiming is impaled, lasts for a very long time, as now Bulldog also in trouble. Duda goes in, and it's Chiu that's actually the main damage as he flashes forward and barbecues the whole team. There's a Quadra. He's looking for a Penta as he goes golden at the last possible moment, and there is the pentakill for Chiu.
The shield! I told you it was the Rumble Ivern comp! It's the Rumble Ivern comp! He went Riftmaker Leandri's, he did it! We solved it, it was a comp, Atlas! It was real!
He was the 80 carry all along, and there I guess it was just what you said. You weren't even being facetious.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.